Heart of Darkness, entering the night phase. I would like to go around now. And well, I guess we should actually first learn because I need to prompt this and you're gonna have a prompting this if we're gonna be doing a uh uh wait, actually we already talked about this. And we did a Hargrave House prompt, and now we're going into the second night phase. That's
Yep.
right. My bad. Yes. So we've already dipped our toe into the water of the night phase here. You have unlocked the conservatory. I'll need to put that move back in there. But as a reminder, you can perhaps channel the will and power of Roger the Reaver if you really want to have a bad time and kill a bunch of people. So something to keep in mind. But we finished our first part of the night phase because Dame Chanterelle is invoking the REC with the handsome cab driver Gareth Kellogg, whom we last saw during the confrontation with Theodora Brathwaite. You can move much more expeditiously throughout London as he can drop you off wherever you need to be. And I'm going to introduce an unseen, but I'm going to do a round of questions to find out what everyone will be looking to do during this night phase. As a reminder, you do have an opportunity to pursue and resolve the St. Petersburg mirror if that's something you want to do. And other than that, as we know that our dear American here has lost control, Kyle, you will be out of the narrative tonight. So I'm going to steal something from the Mother's Playbook, and you will have sole narrative control of the unseen tonight. You alone, as your fellow hunters do things. So let's go around here for the rest of you. Dame Chanterelle, what is your evening now spent rushing about going to involve?
I think I would like to resolve the St. Petersburg mirror. I'm going to go blackmail the blackmailer.
Oh, you're going to go to Madame Sorokin?
Yep.
Cool.
Um, and I think the dame looks for Muscle to accompany her, and I think she looks for Ross first, but unable to find him.
And his
Um,
room is in shambles, indeed. Well, you're wanting to go blackmail Madame Sorokin. Potiphar, what about you?
So when last we left off, Potiphar was shambling his way back to Hargrave House with a major sword wound through his abdomen. I think by now he'll have used his abilities to take take care of that. And since Ross Fletcher is mysteriously missing for reasons yet to be discovered, I think Count Potiphar will volunteer to go in his stead as Dame Chanterelle's muscle.
And Violet, what about you?
I was gonna say Viola is definitely sprinting back towards the house after hearing the howl
The Howl, yeah.
and probably convenes with the rest of you at the room. Um, where she goes from there,
Well, I have an idea. We have an idea for sure. All right, well, I'm into it all the same. Let's talk about tonight's unseen, the bitter end. There is a brothel in Whitechapel, informally called the Bitter End, which, even by the standards of such disreputable places, is wholly wretched. A young man, young nun, sorry, Sister Mary Edward Price, has taken it upon herself to help the Enders, stopping by once a week to provide them with counseling and light medical services. Let's meet the residents of the Bitter End. Kyle, Georgina, who is dying of consumption. How do we know Georgina is the most popular girl at the brothel?
As you walk into the brothel, you see that there are pictures of the ladies behind a counter. And for every time they're chosen, there's a little piece of string, a little ribbon that is held over the edge. And you see that Georgina's is full of multiple colored ribbons that just stack up compared to all the others.
For this first round of scenes in the night phase, I'm actually going to ask each of you to narrate the Mask of the Mirror if you owe it. I think everyone owes it, right? So it'll just be the three of you who owe this. Each hunter narrates a memory of someone close to them who died. What message did they never get a chance to give them before their passing?
Go
I
first,
think I
because
actually
I also
covered this in our last session.
Then you'll be exempt. But go ahead, Vila.
mine is combined with the mask I owe from last time. One giant monologue. Sorry, friends. So it's the Mask of the Mirror, and also narrate a flashback to the first time a family member grieved that they could never give you more. All Bathory's marry. Our sacred duty in this life is to end the curse that haunts us and taints this mortal world. And to ensure that, the line must be maintained. All Bathory's marry, all reproduce, and all continue the hunt. Love is not considered necessary. My father wasn't a hunter. I never really thought about how odd that was until I was older. My mother wasn't exactly a warm person as far as I can remember. Not cruel, but clinical, cold, calculating. What I'm trying to say is she wasn't one for sentiment. So why she chose my father of all people, I have never understood. Love does not need to be part of the equation, as I have said, and yet, for all her hardness, I am forced to concede that there is no other reason for why she married him. A third son of a merchant, no title and no combat skills to speak of. He liked books. And though he loved my mother dearly, I know this was not a life he wanted. He told me so, once when I was very young. Between combat training, he would whisk me to the library and to tell me fantastic tales of faraway lands and princesses and fairies and happy endings. My aunt said he coddled me, but he just wanted me to know that there could be more to life than this hard, cruel, blood-stained existence. He told me he knew all Bathory's were hunters, and there was nothing he could do about that. But he hoped that one day I could choose for myself to leave the shadows and walk in the sun. He had done the opposite for my mother, left this bright world of flowers and riverside walks and love to hold her hand and walk through darkness. It destroyed him in the end. I think she tried to teach him to defend himself, though obviously not well enough. He died before my 13th birthday. It was brutal. Hunters gain a lot of enemies. Bukodan. Werewolf, in your tongue. My mother had killed its mate, so he took hers. I wish I could have seen him before he breathed his last. I wish I could see him now. I never got to tell him, but I hope he knows. I touched his world. For 2 full years I moved in it, and I know now what I couldn't understand then. A simple life, a life of choice, love, free of duty and bloodshed and sacrifice. It is not necessarily easier, but it is good. And I hope he knows that while I fight in darkness, it is for a chance to move in the light.
Then for the dame, the Mask of the Mirror, there is a memory the dame has of her with her father. She is young, perhaps 8 or so, and he's taken her onto his ship for the first time. She looks in amazement as he demonstrates the sails, takes her to the captain's quarters, holds her over the front of the bow, and she feels like she's flying. Her laughter fades as the camera pans to the sky, which becomes covered with rain clouds. Chanterelle is no longer on the ship, but we see her father in the captain's quarters penning a letter. My darling Chanterelle, I have been away for some time. It's been difficult being away from you and missing so many moments of your life, and I hope these letters bring you some solace and confidence that I'm always thinking of you. Time is a fickle thing. It seems like yesterday that I held you as a babe, and then the next thing I knew, you were a small girl. You grow so quickly that I cannot help but worry. A father will always worry for his children, for the world's cruel and terribly unfair. But I know you shall persevere. You are such a kind child, and your heart is full of love. You must keep that love close, you understand. Be kind and gentle to those around you. Our family has status, and I know it will not be something for you to abuse. You will use it to lift the people, to help those in need, for your heart is full of love. The alarms have sounded. I must go. Seems a pirate vessel is approaching. I hope to deliver this letter to you soon. With much love, your father.
And Count Potiphar, with the dame's thoughts distracted, en route to the seance parlor, a question. Both Dame Chanterelle and Ross Fletcher have claimed interesting experiences from this Madame Sorokin involving their secrets, voices from beyond the grave. Do you fear the ghosts of your past or any voices from your personal history that might be revealed in this seance parlor? Or do you proceed brazenly to the cause?
As we approach in the carriage, I am plagued by thoughts of my younger brother, who slew me in life, sent me to the realm of the dead. And I wonder what became of him, for his story too is lost to history. All I really remember of him is our childhood and the knife that took my life.
The carriage pulls up outside Madame Sorokin's parlor. Back in the unseen, Nanette, sweet-natured and petite. How do we know Nanette is doing this because she has no other choice?
The other girls in the house at this at the bitter end, they get letters and packages from friends and family, but Nanette's little mail slot stays empty as she watches others go by, pick their mail, move back up to their rooms in between John's, and she just moves on to the next client.
Vila, you have not yet reached Hargrave House. You have not yet seen the inner contents of Ross's room. You have heard the howl, and you are running through the streets of London. Fog and shadows flank your every step, and the closer you get to the house, the closer you feel to the truth of it. And then you hear a familiar noise coming from a side street in London, heaving breaths, growling, a creature of massive bulk. You know the smell carried on the night air. You know Ross, in his form of a beast, is down that alleyway. What do you do? You're muted. You are muted.
As she's been sprinting through the city frantically, she's become a little disheveled, and as she senses this, she sort of jerks to a stop. And she looks towards the house. She looks towards down the alley. and then back towards the house. Before she takes a deep breath, puts her hood up, unsheaths her sword, makes the sign of the cross in a language that is not known to most, and says, "May God and my friends forgive me," before headed down the alleyway.
You walk down the alleyway, those sounds getting ever closer. And you see your friend, your latest colleague, Ross Fletcher, but you can immediately tell, as you had long dreaded on the run here, that he has lost control. And the beast turns to look at you. There is no humanity in those eyes. And with terrifying speed and rage, it lunges at you. It's the night move. What are you afraid of happening here?
Getting killed, not being able to at least report back.
How is it worse than that? I think it's worse than that because the potency of his curse will reach you and you will transform monstrously and join Ross in an eternal hunt. Do you proceed?
Yeah.
Roll with vitality because you're the legacy, obviously.
Oh, I lost that one. Two and a 4 is a 6, plus a 3 is a 9.
A 9. We will come back to this scene. Outside of Madame Sorokin's parlor, Count Potiphar, Dame Chanterelle, you can see lights on inside. You're not sure if she's entertaining a customer or not, but you hear voices, conversational, chatting away in the reception room. Dane, you're leading the charge here. What do you do?
Yeah, I hope we could have brought a couple of Count Potiphar's cultists as well, if that's okay.
Happy to oblige.
Indeed.
Only one way to go, I suppose. The dame walks up, raps on the door.
Miss Elsie Tanner answers the door with her severe, calculating gaze. She looks through, opens it a crack and looks through, and there is the faintest hint of a smug smile that tugs at the corners of her narrow mouth as she says, "Oh, well, the Dame Chanterelle Campbell Carter, a repeat visitor, and dropping in unannounced, I'm afraid."
Oh, yes, quite. I think despite not having an invitation, the Madame Sorokin would be very interested to hear what I have to say.
I am afraid that Madame Sorokin is fretfully busy for the evening and is quite exhausted. She won't be taking any more visitors.
Oh, I'm afraid it was not a request. I am coming in.
And she moves to begin closing the door, but before she does, a voice from the inside of the parlor says, "No, no, no. Let him in, Miss Elsie. Let him in." And she opens the door, and just sitting very casually in the reception hall is Winslow Taggart, feet kicked up on her desk. "After all, these are friends of a friend of mine." And we'll come back to this scene. Back in the unseen, Candace, whose 3 children live with her in the brothel. In what ways has Candace tried to create a normal life for them here?
Candace has cleaned out an old broom closet down the hall from her own room. The children's drawings cover the inside of this closet. A blanket is laid out on the floor, and a light is hung from on high so that way the children can't reach. She's created a small little playroom for these children to escape from the adult things that are going on.
On a 9, Vila, you hold your ground and manage not to lose yourself. But Ross fights with inhuman ferocity, relentless. At one point, your fight spills out into the nearby street as he smashes through a carriage and throws a screaming, kicking horse directly at you. It lands against the cobbles with a sickening crunch of bone and a whinnying cry. But all the same, eventually, you manage to repel it, and he lunges off into the night, howling and shrieking. You are bathed in sweat and blood, and you put the horse out of its misery. But then you look at your forearm where the beast almost got you in its jaws, but you see a long gouge from one of his teeth, the blood running down your arm. And your complication will be that you've not been fully cursed, but you have a bestial affliction. You have some sort of like cursed infection. So we can just say that this is a condition is I don't know how we can phrase this. That's just what comes to mind. But what do you do in this aftermath?
I would have just gone after him, but I feel like the gash, I can already see the beginnings of like my veins beginning to turn black as it starts to poison my bloodstream. And Vila looks after Ross, looks down at her own arm. I feel like she hasn't even put the horse out yet. It's like still thrashing on the cobblestones. She goes, fuck! And then quickly slits the horse's throat before letting out a growl and then turning and sprinting towards the house because I obviously need to be better prepared for this fight.
Indeed. In the reception room, the two of you with a pair of Count Palafar's cultists see Winslow Taggart kicked up, smiling. You can see his baby dragoon revolver peeking out underneath his jacket and says, I'm not much for the spiritualisms myself, but I was having a lovely conversation about our mutual acquaintances with Miss Elsie Tanner. She is a delightful woman, don't you think?
The dame goes, ugh, I don't know any friends who would keep you as a friend. Count Potiphar, have you ever seen such a revolting little rat of a man before?
Somewhere in the East End, I'm sure.
Ah,
Under
truly.
my boot.
Yeah, I love this. I love this. You all think you're so witty. You have always some sort of barbed dagger to throw at the common man who's built himself up. I get it. I totally understand. Let me be very clear here, my friends. In case we haven't met before, name's Winslow Taggart. Yeah, that Winslow Taggart. And I've had a hell of a time trying to convince your buddy, Mr. Fletcher, to see reason. So I thought I'd take what I know about Mr. Fletcher's work and perhaps even that of Hargrave House. And, well, I would wanted to regale this lovely company with the tales I've heard so far and what I've been able to find out.
The dame looks at Count Potiphar and she goes, "Ugh, he's American." Oh yes, no, truly, we haven't met. But I find you terribly uninteresting.
What a coinky dink, Dame Campbell Carter. I could
Ugh,
say the exact same thing of you.
fascinating. What a strange little specimen you are. Um, go on, shoo.
He chuckles. And Elsie Tanner, this entire time, does look rather smug, but there is that thing of tension to her. And Winslow stands and says, No, I don't think I will be heading out. In fact, it seems to me that the this lovely woman and her employer rather firmly told you that they won't be accepting your business tonight, perhaps ever. And well, I'm sure we could wait around for the constables to come calling, but you know, this seems rather threatening. I'd hate to have to defend the integrity of this poor woman right here in her living room.
Oh yes, bring the constables. I think they'd have be very interested to hear what I have to say. All manner of interesting things about Madame Sorokin. I don't know if that's really her name. Curious thing, a
As
woman
well.
who. Go ahead.
Sure, they would be very much interested to learn about you as well.
Taggart pulls his revolver out of his coat and is like just leveling it casually to you. When Dame Chanterelle mentions the Sorokin not being her real name, Elsie, like, there is a flash of like stress, like a brief glimmer of panic in her eyes before she maintains her composure. And then Winslow gives you a greasy fucking grin, Count Potiphar, as he says, "Oh, is that right? What the fuck do you know about me?"
I'm gonna casually step between him and Dame Chanterelle. Oh, we've learned much about you since you first set foot upon England's shores. Your dalliances with ladies of the evening, even that poor girl who fell out of the window, your little employees scampering about the streets, things that become of these ladies when their guards are down. You said that you've built yourself up in the world.
I'm going to say this right now because we talked about last time the possibility of not resolving this means he's going to get killed. But I will say, if if you want to actually have this work and threaten him, confront him about this, he will back the fuck down right now. He will leave, and you will therefore not have this obstacle. But if you want to continue living in the reality where the Pinkerton gets killed by Ross, um, if you want to get through, if you want to resolve the St. Petersburg Mirror tonight, you'll have to go through him.
Okay, I have something in mind that might be able to tie all these things together in a satisfactory way, because I would love nothing more than for this human trafficker to be torn to shreds by a werebear. So, if we had to go through him to get to Sorokin, confronting him to get him out of the way, I think I would like to send him towards Ross Fletcher. Tell him, I know where you can find what you want. Go find this person at Hargrave House, and she will guide you to him.
Mm, very fun and interesting.
It's always guns first with these Americans. So hasty.
I like this approach. And I'm questioning whether or not, now this won't count as resolving it, but you are leveraging what you know over him. So Yeah, because you're going to send him to his death effectively. It won't count as resolving it, but it's an effective tactic. All right. You see this moment where he decides to back the fuck down, lest you reveal some stuff about him he doesn't want to go into right now. But when you mention where he can find Ross, tucks the revolver back into his holster and says, "Finally, a respectable gentleman in this city. Finally, some answers." I
Just
didn't
tell
want.
Viola that I sent you and that I've instructed her to take you to Ross. I'm sure she will be more than happy to oblige.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, you're on your own, Miss Elsie. I couldn't give two fucks about what you and your niece are up to. And he walks out. Back in the unseen, Mabel, who has gotten a bit long in the tooth. What does Mabel try to do to keep up with the younger girls?
She'll douse herself in rouge and makeup. She goes outside of the bitter end. She'll throw herself over men, even at times grabbing an arm and pulling him in to her room. This is occasionally got she's given away a free round to a John or two, but just because he was good looking. And this tactic has actually made it to where she has some repeat customers. They were like, "Oh, a free, maybe I can go back," and then they gotta pay.
Viola, we find you back in Hargrave House, and you are standing in Ross's room as if to confirm what you already knew and experienced. It is in shambles. There are signs everywhere of him having lost control, clawing at the walls. The window burst open by an escape attempt. As we find you standing here, what do you do? You're muted again.
Viola looks around the room, immediately notices the shattered syringe, and it breaks her heart a little bit knowing that he tried to use what she left for him to stop it. And her eyes sting in this unfamiliar way that she's not used to. And she angrily rubs her face and shakes her head and goes over and tries and grabs a fistful of powdered silver and tries packing it into her wound. And she tries to wrap her arm, but her hands are shaking too much. So she takes out her vial of laudanum and tries to withdraw a dropper of it, and her hands are still shaking. And finally, she breaks and she screams and she dashes it off the table, shattering it against the wall, and just cries for a moment before slowly pulling herself back together, finishing the wrap on her arm, tying it off with her teeth, wipes her face, picks her sword back up from where she dropped it, and turns to begin to head back downstairs and out into the city. With a couple more anti-werewolf stuff shoved into her pockets.
And now we are in the seance room with Madame Sorokin. I think with the information you gathered, you would also know Madame Sorokin's true identity at this point. Madame Sorokin, Seraphima Sorokin, born Sarah Tanner in Camberwell, East London, the daughter of devout grocers in a small nonconformist Christian sect with a very religious upbringing. Later moved in with her aunt Elsie. And you've laid your blackmail forth. What is the argument you're making here? to leverage against not to leverage against Seraphima, aka Sarah.
Has the mirror regrown at this point? I believe I tried to shatter it. Last time I was here, I shot it with a stake launcher.
Oh, I think it has.
I think the dame steps into the room and immediately shoots it again. Looks to Potiphar and says, Potiphar, could your servants please? I think that we'll be taking that with us.
Yes, of course. Fetch a broom and dustpan.
She sits at the seance table and goes, "Oh, Madam Sorokin, or should I say Miss Sarah Tanner, you've been quite the busy little duck, haven't you? Gathering all this information, blackmailing, all sorts. The Russian embassy, that's a bold move. I respect it. I think your talents are extraordinary. There's much you could still do, but I think you need a guiding hand. I think you need a teacher to show you the right way. I quite like what you've got going on. I'd like you to keep it up, just for me and Hargrave House, as opposed for your own whims."
You can see she is heavily thinking about it, but still, there's a rebellious edge to her. I will say that just given all the legwork you've done to reach this point, this will be the day move. With your presence, after all, a very reasonable, charismatic woman. Though there is that you are a bit of a vindictive cunt at the moment, and I think that rubs off in your conversation.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You'll roll with disadvantage, but what are you afraid of happening here?
I'm afraid that she'll simply disagree and we'll have to kill her
Makes sense.
or turn her in and probably kill her.
Makes sense. Go ahead and roll.
Okay. It is a 6.
Well, you said it yourself. She will snort, very unladylike. And she says, in her true voice this time, yeah, sure. I've learned a lot about you in my time here, Dame Campbell Carter. I'm not a stupid girl. I've had a lot of attention put on me throughout my life. And people like you have paid me an awful lot of money, not just to read to them in the voices of the dead, but to unwittingly learn their secrets. Funny thing about being a seer, people are always wanting you to air their dirty laundry, but they don't actually. Wow, I slipped into fucking Taggart's voice for a second. Hold on. People are always wanting you to air out the dirty laundry, not thinking about the fact that you're privy to all sorts of things. And as she's talking, you see that the stake that you fired into the mirror is beginning to quiver and slowly being like pushed back out like a thorn out of a wound. And the mirror begins to grow very quickly, a little light through the seams. It seems like she is the one doing that as she's staring at you very intensely. And in all the reflective surfaces of this room, there are ghostly visions. And she says, the thing is, I'm not fucking afraid of you, bitch, but you should be afraid of me. And the ghosts all manifest. Is this the reality we live in, or are you going to be putting on a mask?
We'll mark a mask.
What mask are you marking?
Mask of the Past.
Very good. Do you want to narrate that now or hold off?
Hold off for now.
Sounds good. Instead, you do as you intended. But if this is the course you stick to, the way that you're going to be vulnerable is that though she will agree, she is not going to be fully trustworthy. She is going to maybe cause problems for you in the future. She'll ostensibly be an asset to work with you, but she might rattle at the bars of her cage every now and again. If
Okay.
you want to go through with it, you can. Otherwise, you can deal with her in another way. Committing to the course.
Yeah, I'll commit.
All right. Very good. She just
2
nods.
masks. Oops, sorry.
You mark 2 masks?
No, I said 2 masks remaining. That's what I asked.
Oh, gotcha. She nods her head after a long moment, and she just says, "When should I move in?" And I think that'll just close off that bit of that night phase. Except, as a slight addendum, Vila, who throws herself into London once more, grieving and full of rage, a hunt that doesn't end with her intended results. But she will find Ross in his human form as dawn rises once more over London. Clearly human again, but for how long? And we will end the night phase there. Let's go into the dawn. You have resolved the St. Petersburg mirror, and you have not resolved the Pinkerton. So we'll talk about that shortly. I did not put these in the character keeper, I realized, so I'm just going to read them out loud. Here are the options for St. Petersburg Mirror rewards. Madame Sorokin, aka Sarah Tanner, becomes a recurring side character. She gives an extra clue when you seek her counsel about spiritualism and dark secrets. She will become a resident of Hargrave House. Edwin Belmont, because you've handled the blackmail network, is out of jail. He can also become a recurring side character who can offer extra clues when you seek his counsel about government or foreign affairs. He can regain his position with the India office. There are 2 memento options. There's also blackmail on an influential figure. Describe it and add it to your personal quarters. And lastly, the St. Petersburg mirror. Because Dame Chanterelle and Count Potiphar were there to handle it, you 2 get first pick.
If we were to get blackmail on an influential character, I would think Admiral Flag would be the obvious choice.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh, that's good.
Are you claiming that, Count Potiphar?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You take blackmail on Admiral Flag. I love it. Dame Chanterelle?
I talked her into it. I'll put the mask on. I'll take Madame Sorokin.
Very good. Honestly, actually, no, fuck it. I think you're going to get that one for free just because of the way that scene went.
Let's go.
Yeah. If I recall, actually, I think I need to double check, but I think in the new version of the game, the rewards have changed slightly where it's like you get these for sure or something like that, and then additional rewards. But I'll double check. But I honestly, the fiction is too good. You're just going to get Madame Sorokin for free. So you can pick the St. Petersburg mirror if you wanted.
Yeah, I'll take the St. Petersburg mirror.
But yeah, that comes with a special move. So we'll talk about that in a second. And Vila and Count Potiphar and Ross, because Ross, you're technically still back in the narrative because of your custom move. We'll talk about that here shortly. But you 3 get a pick.
I could get something more help for the group rather than something for myself. So we have a couple mementos, which would only go to me, and then what's the other one?
Edwin Belmont.
Yeah, let's get him. I think he'd be a good asset for all of us
Cool.
to be able to use.
So that leaves the 2 of you with memento options. So pick your hunter to get it from, and we'll go from there.
Oh, Potiphar took the blackmail.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, just Vila.
Take memento, but I don't know what I want.
Well, ask another hunter. You have to ask another hunter what it is.
Great. Dame, tell me what I get. You're there. You're bringing it back for me.
I think there is a shard of mirror that falls on the ground that can be fashioned into a dagger.
Ooh, that's fucking cool.
Mirror dagger.
Just give Viola more
Ghost
daggers all the
dagger.
time. Yeah.
All I want is sharp, pointy objects.
Oh, I was
I-
gonna say, by the way, just because I didn't want to interrupt the moment. Viola, go ahead and mark both X and O on Hunt for the scene. For just because the emotions and then also the fucking fury of it all. So we're bumping you up to 13. I will ask you because we have thrown this aspect of the legacy by the wayside a bit, just because I think it chafes a little bit mechanically. But I will ask you, in what way did your experiences last night make you feel as if your personal hunt for your family's beast is coming to a head, like a subtle sign or clue that your own legacy is unfolding around you? This is your territory to clue us into about anything about the nature of the beast as you want to.
I okay. Before I leave the house, I have to pass my room on the way out before I head back out into London. And I don't go into it, but as I pass, I notice a note sticking out from underneath my door, which I will grab. It has the seal of Jonathan Wick Harker on it. And
I have to call him Jonathan Wick Harker every time.
Nope, that's what I'm doing. It's his name now. On it, it says, I think I have an address for you. And it says, I think I have an address for you. I think I know where she is.
Oh, that's good. Okay, cool. Thank you. Let's go into dawn questions for everyone except for Ross. Because
I do have a quick question.
Yeah, what's
did I end up getting taggered last night?
you're about to find out.
Okay.
Yeah, you're about to find out. So that's part of my the opening of the day face thing. Yeah, I'm gonna say that even though Ross is technically still on the table because of your custom move that had the contingency of you can still operate during the day phase, but at the night phase you monstrously transform and become a problem. But regardless, we know that resolving this stuff is your character's retirement, so no more advancements for you. Dame Chanterelle, everyone answered a question and everyone resolved a threat, so those are for sure marked. Did you experience an echo in the night? Wait, you're fully leveled up.
I was gonna say I'm fully.
You're fully leveled up. Never mind. Ignore that. Never mind. You don't get the spotlight. Count Potiphar, did you experience an echo in the night?
I don't believe so.
Did you express a clear preference for the beautiful over the mundane?
Trying to remember yesterday's.
What did we see you do last time?
Fletcher and I went to check out Fig's Pigs,
Yes, that's right. Yes.
and I was attacked by what's his name, Obert.
Obert, yeah,
Knife
that's
to
right.
my throat, seppuku'd myself.
Yep, that's right. I don't know if you ever expressed a preference for the beautiful over the mundane. So
I just kind of acted right at home
Yeah.
in the midst of all the gore.
But did you secretly show a vulnerable side to someone?
That I did not do either.
Okay, well then you still mark 2, and I think that gives you an advance. So
Yeah.
And Viola, did you experience an echo in the night?
No echo for me, I'm afraid.
Just
I
the
was busy
echoes
having
of your
emotions.
raging screams. Yep. Did you revel in the thrill of the hunt?
I did yesterday.
Yes,
during
yeah,
the day.
during the daytime. Yeah, you were having a great time, and then tonight this sucked. So yeah.
Having a phenomenal time.
mhm.
It was horrible this
And
evening.
And yes, you did try to go unnoticed in a public space, so you also get that. So mark 4. All right. Go ahead and mark new dawn questions if you so desire. And we will go into the day phase. But first, let's take a nice 10-minute break. Moving into the day phase, we have a new threat on the table. And if I recall, this is our first ever playbook threat. No, it's well, Pinkerton counted, but like, you know, this is a second one, but still it's Ross's honor. Anyway, but the Cursed. Your companion, Ross Fletcher, succumbed to his terrible curse. His limbs grew long with claws on the ends. His mouth stretched into a snout full of sharp teeth and fangs. His body, now broad and muscular, grew dark, mangy fur all over. Hargrave House has known of his curse for a time, though this is the first instance of Ross losing control and terrorizing London. 2 nights have passed, and the stories are alarming. Winslow Taggart was the first kill, swiftly murdered on the first night. A bricklayer called David Hawkins was found eviscerated at a building site on Baker Street. A prostitute, Miss Elvina Tompkins, claims to have seen a terrible monster like a giant bear on 2 legs stalking around Clapham Common, where she plied her trade until very recently. And a wealthy judge living at 14 Portman Square, Sidney Thornwick, claims to have chased the beast from his home and that he put several bullets in it and it did not die. Your approach to stopping the creature will depend on whether Ross's transformation is permanent or reversible. A question for Viola Bathory. Ross has been able to revert his transformation during the daytime, but every night since still escapes and still kills and causes mayhem. Why have you not killed him when he's vulnerable yet?
I didn't know this would happen. If Ross is open to me including him in this, I will say that after I found him the first morning as a person again, as close as Viola gets to begging, I think you probably asked me to kill you right then and there, and I begged you to give me time. If you're a person right now, you can be a person again, and I begged you to give us at least a couple of days to figure it out. And that if I hadn't by like the 3rd night, that I would fulfill my promise.
I 100% agree. I think it was definitely like, come on, Viola, right now. And you're like, just.
I think I
time.
probably said something to the effect of, "I will kill the beast, but do not make me kill my friend."
Come on. Damn it. All right. I just know I can't stop it anymore.
Oh, on the plus side, I imagine I look over to what is an eviscerated Taggart. This really wasn't all that bad in the grand scheme of things.
And yeah, we did take care of him, but
Let me get you back to the house, and I swear, 3 days. If in 3 days we can't figure it out,
do it. Kill me.
I'll fulfill my promise.
If somehow the Cursed is not resolved within 2 night phases, Ross will mark the blood-soaked portal. And the first question on the Cursed is the transformation permanent or reversible? It is complexity 4. You will then unlock the next question. If it is permanent, you're going to have to find the weakness to destroy the creature once and for all. If it's reversible, you're also going to find its weakness, but using this to do a ritual or some other procedure to reverse it for good. And Ross will then return to the United States and no longer run from his past. You have 5 clues already available for the cursed because of every transformation we've had thus far. The 5 clues so far are Ross's transformation as a mange-like appearance and a bear-like form. The transformation was slowed by Ross being unconscious. While wearing the magic veil, Ross's shadow was its human shape after transforming. Pieces of Ross are left over during the transformation, and Ross's body was regenerating as flesh was falling off when injected with Wolfsbane and Elephant Tranquilizer. You could, out of the gate, if you wanted to, use already answer the question and unlock the next one. Or you could even sit on it a bit longer and get a few more from investigating it before tackling it. Entirely your call. What do we think we want to do?
I'm down to answer it now.
We can answer it.
Opening right away. All right, then. Well, who's got a theory about whether it's permanent or reversible based on these clues? I will say Kyle doesn't have input right now. Kyle can agree or disagree with something someone proposes, but someone else has to propose it first. Yeah, I think it's only fair that the American gets a say in where their story goes, but we'll defer to other people's creativity for now.
The magic veil gave Ross a human shadow after transforming. That kind of implies that there is still a human side to him. Maybe we could use the veil. I think we should also remember that during Count Potiphar's wanderings through Hargrave House, he stumbled into a kind of supernatural jail cell that could be used against lycanthropy stuff.
Mm-hmm. That's a good detail to remember. I think that's actually I think you hit the nail on the head, like right out of the gate, is like him having a human shadow is a great indicator that there's still something human that might be able to be saved and restored somehow. That's one clue.
Could argue it the other way too, and the fact that even transformed, the shadow so intrinsic to a person's being means that they're too inextricably linked. But
I was gonna say the same thing though, Eric. I was gonna say I think it's almost like it's impossible to separate them.
Like a coin, it's the same thing.
What it was hinting at.
In the interest of fairness, one thing I will say, Kyle, do you have a preference for which of these answers could be explored, it being your character and all?
I do like both. I hate to say it, of being like a non-decider, but I do love both.
That's a perfectly fine answer. So then, yeah. All right. I'm leaving it in y'all's hands to come to a consensus on whether or not it is reversible or permanent.
Are y'all going to kill me?
Let me see. So pieces of him were left over during the transformation, and his body was regenerating as flesh fell off when he was injected with stuff.
I think those both kind of hint that it can be slowed, but not necessarily stopped. All these clues could honestly go their way.
How many?
Truly.
Here's a question: how many pieces of him could be collected after a transformation? Like, could we, in theory, stitch them together into a kind of Frankenstein?
If only Dr. Carry On was still at Hargrave House.
I think they're just like pieces of skin. We're missing vital organs and limbs.
Yeah, like, it was a lot of flesh that was just left behind.
Yeah, just tearing out.
Okay, I think the mange-like appearance, I maybe lean that one towards it being reversible. Like, it doesn't fully envelop him, so there's still bits of skin that are human-like. Human skin under the fur, patches of human skin.
Yeah, because mange is a skin disease that affects animals. And I think they have topical ointments that can be applied to cure that.
But I don't want to like lean too hard into my own thing. But I do like the idea that it's reversible, but I don't think Ross wants that. I think that I do think that it's I'm wanting to lean into that it's reversible, the fact that my shadow is still there, it's still human, the beast literally has to tear away me in order to like come into fruition, and then it transforms back into me rather than me tearing out of it. uh yeah, I think that it is reversible. I was trying to go for, like, through my whole backstory and everything, that it was like a, a welcomed curse in a sense.
What life do you have left to lead
Yeah.
at this
Uh,
point?
but yeah, I do like all the things that are able to subdue the beast. It's like, is there a way to subdue the beast completely? So I like the idea of it being that, or just like, nah, man, it's all monster. And we have to roll for it too, and it might be wrong either way.
I was gonna say, I feel like maybe we build our answer for being reversible, but wherever the dice fall, the dice fall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
'cause
the
if you-
dice fall and we're just wrong about that, we can just take the L and be like, whoops, we have to kill you.
Yeah.
A perfectly valid strategy. What Viola Bathory will never tell anyone, those hoods are good at hiding tears.
You see it crying at the party.
So, okay. Let's orient the clues then. So we're saying we're going to say that we're going to do the reversible answer first. We're going to focus our clues on that, and then if it's wrong, it's wrong, and then we go from there. Okay.
So
Yeah.
reversible, the shadow, the pieces of humanity left behind,
the mange,
Mm-hmm.
the
Slowed by him
mange.
being unconscious.
I think that does lean to like quelling the beast and keeping the beast at bay keeps Ross there.
That might be a better. Well, I mean, we could use that here, or you could say that for the second question. Up to you.
Oh.
We could save it.
Because that one, the second question being like determining what the weakness is, so you can, do
Oh,
something.
yeah.
So,
I was
could
thinking
save
for the other one, the
transformation.
Wolfsbane and Elephant Tranquilizer being something that might be a part of the weakness.
So yeah, that works too.
Yeah, either way there, honestly.
Yeah, either one will help us subdue him.
And then where does the pieces of Ross left over during transformation point towards it being reversible?
Because I was saying before that the beast has to literally tear out of me, but I transform from the beast back to
back
Ross.
in yourself.
So that's why, like, Ross during the daytime is still Ross. Ross is still able to be there.
Okay. And are we using, that's 3, I think. Are we using a 4th? Are we using the unconscious clue?
I think we use the unconscious here, and I think it's just that
if we
drifting closer to dreams is a very human thing. I feel.
Yeah.
Beast doesn't dream.
So it's that like link,
and Ross has dreams.
Yeah. So being closer to that slows the transformation because it's
a human thing.
It's a human thing.
Despite everything, these little touchstones lead you to believe that the condition is reversible and you might be able to remove his curse for all time. Tamara, you should roll this. Ross's fate is in your hands.
No pressure.
Kill me.
It's so fucked up because obviously I want you to live, but low-key, I think Kyle and I want the drama of the murder scene.
I kind of want the drama of the
You
murder.
chose to answer reversible. Do we want to change the theory before you roll?
Everyone else seemed really hopeful. I went for the kill.
We can't roll without group consensus. Do we have that?
I say roll, and I'm banking on Tamara to roll bad.
I've been not rolling great, so
Oh my god, what?
I'm not even lying. It's I don't know if you can
zoom. No, we can't.
It's 2 2s.
2 2s.
2 2s.
We're wrong, and you have to die, Ross.
We tried.
Wrong.
Hey, we tried it, y'all.
I'm going to say, because the keeper does react when you are wrong. We'll do that in a second. The transformation is
not reversible,
permanent. That unlocks the next question. What is the creature's weakness? Complexity 4. I think as a reaction,
Do I just go?
No, 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 no. I'm not gonna steal your agency like that. No, I was gonna say, I think you've already. I got it. You made the attempt and it failed miserably. And there was a great deal of destruction in Hargrave House. You must each remove an item from your personal quarters, reflecting the destruction that the house has endured. Unless everyone marks a mask, but that would kill Ross because he only has the blood-soaked portal left. So, but yeah, so that's the situation. But we begin the day phase. Let's go around and find out what everyone would like to do. Ross, you're having a very bad time.
I think I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna get me a steak and some potatoes. I'm gonna be like a dog on his last day. I need a good meal. uh Aside from that, I do think from like treating myself to that, I will subject myself to anything that the group is willing to find out more about me. Like we now know that we can't cure this. If there's anything else I can help like give them information and just spend the day like going through the ritual that I went through to turn into this lycanthropic beast to help them like to subdue me. I'd be willing to do that for them.
Okay. Dog on his last day. Dame Chanterelle, what are you going to be doing today?
Look, I would love to be useful. I really would.
But
But I would love to go. First of all, I think the dame has sent a very nice bottle of whiskey or rum, whatever she saw Admiral Flag doing. She's left it as she sends it as a gift. It's horribly poisoned, of course. And an invitation to walk with her at Cremorne Gardens, which
I
she
love it.
owns, and she hasn't
Yep.
been in a while. So
You haven't been. You're going to go speak with Flag. I'd love to see it. Count Potiphar?
In the spirit of the dog on his last day, I would like to make an offer to Ross Flint. I will give him the key to my townhouse and give him the run of the place for one day. My
Damn.
servants are at his beck and call. He may do whatever he wants with them, with as many of them as he chooses.
This is gonna be a great day.
He gets to know what it's like to be me.
Oh, it's really
Best
actually
day
sweet.
of his life.
Yeah.
It's actually really sweet.
And in
it's
the
really sweet.
meantime, Count
Not
Potiphar
Count Potiphar with a heart.
will devote himself to trying to find a way to find this weakness to help put the dog down. Perhaps, I think he's going to look into this lycanthropic jail cell that we have at Hargrave House and maybe talk to our illustrious, mysterious employer again.
The ever busy Lady Antonia. Absolutely. Viola, what about you?
She's depressed. They tried the ritual and it failed. And I think she genuinely thought she wasn't going to have to fulfill her promise.
Oh, actually, real quick, I think you should take a third condition and just call it the promise.
Yeah, that's fair. But
You'll be
with a
clearing it
heavy
soon.
heart that is devoted to duty, Viola will spend this last day looking for a weakness, something that will help her kill you efficiently, painlessly, and with honor.
Alrighty then. Let's start with Ross. You go out for a good meal, the best meal you can probably find in London. Where do you go? What do you eat?
Like I said, I go out. I just find me just the one of the fancier restaurants. Wave by anyone in a fancy suit and just be like, "Look, I've got money. Just give me a table, damn it."
Can I take Ross out for
Oh,
this meal?
I was gonna say, can we go with the meal? You can have your day after at
Going
the
to have a
townhouse.
group vulnerable scene with Ross while he's having a meal, his last meal.
Can we
Count
all go
Potiphar
together?
has had quite a few wealthy restaurateurs in his back pocket, so
The dame will pay for it all.
And we'll say that the dame, I think I'll just impose, dame, this is your vice being indulged because you'll be drinking gin during the meal. So Dame Chanterelle can speak freely about her backstory during the scene. Well, then, Count Potiphar, you recommended the venue. Tell us about this place. Tell us about where you've where Ross has landed and chosen to enjoy this meal.
God, I wish I had a name to drop. Um,
Just come up with something French. It'll be nice later. Yeah, someone can just throw a French name out there.
it is called Le Coq d'Or, meaning the Golden Rooster.
The cock door, got it.
the cock door.
I'm done.
Yeah, that's the best Ross Fletcher thing. Eating his last meal at the cock door.
Yeah, cock door. That sounds pretty fancy there, Count.
The fanciest that London has to offer.
Appreciate it.
It is on the second floor of a fine building in the West End. We go up a long set of winding steps to get there, and we go out on the terrace. There are some trellises with rose vines growing over it, and the furniture is pristine. The staff are well versed in the wine cellar, and it's top shelf for everything.
Yeah, I definitely would sit down and get a set up. Immediate. I'm getting the most American meal I can get in this godforsaken country. Uh, Steak and potatoes. They ain't got corn out here, so they slap some beans on there. Awful bastards. Always with these boring ass beans.
They are an acquired taste, I admit. The dame is drinking gin, but she is keeping Ross filled up with the nicest whiskey.
Appreciate it.
Of course, dear. It's
Hey, come on, don't look so glum. We're having a good meal, Dane. You know what? You should let loose a little bit. This is gonna be the last time you get to see me. Come on.
well, I don't think the last time, but last time of you like you should be.
Last time you get to see this side of the pretty face.
I've lost friends before, Ross Fletcher, but I think I shall regret you the most.
Come on, Dame. I'm trying to enjoy my last day, not get all teared up now.
Oh, yes,
I
of
mean-
course. We can regale each other with stories. Remember when we hunted the vampire?
The vampire, I shot that son of a gun so quick. And it got me still.
And then you held it down, and I had a very lovely monologue about the impossibilities of life while you held it down for me. Very
You did.
courageous.
I'm not gonna
We'll
lie. I
kill
was
the
holding that.
vampire.
Yeah, so I was holding that damn thing for a second, and she just had to go. It was at least 30, 40 seconds of talking at this thing while I'm getting bit at. I'm dodging left, right, and she's just. I mean, she did get a good shot
Good
on it.
times.
Is that where you got that coffin you gave me?
Oh yes, I thought
Wish
you
I
would
could
like
have
that.
seen it.
It was a tiny thing, Viola. It was a child, but rather ancient in its age.
Oh, I've seen those before. Young immortals. Worst kind, really. Devastating. Somewhat glad I missed it, I suppose. Though, would have actually been something I was good at for once.
Come now. You've done plenty good helping us.
Not all immortals are that bad.
Look at the count. He gave me this fancy key right after dinner. Right after this here meal. I'm about to go have me some fun.
Yes, my friendship with you, Count Potiphar, is not lost on me. The irony. Viola sprinkles wolfbane and powdered silver into her wine as she drinks it, trying to stave off this
Action.
Well, no, yes.
infection.
Ross wants a joyful meal for his last day. Would you like to me to regale you with tales? I've been to Africa, big game hunting.
I've never been and I never will be, so I'd love to hear. Why don't you go ahead and tell me? You said you shot an elephant?
Oh yes, it was a lovely time, of course, except for what happened to poor Mr. Chatsworth. The thing you have to understand about Mr. Chatsworth, he was a lovely man, an excellent father and husband, terrible at card games. I had a bit of a tell where he'd always scratch his nose when he had a good hand. We robbed him blind every time. He would have done anything for his friends. You probably would have liked him. Anyway, he was rather fond of his drink and food. It made him a rather portly fellow, but nothing wrong with that. Just meant he was a touch less athletic than the rest of us. We were out on the African savannah when we saw it, a lone elephant bull grazing among the scarce trees. Unfortunately, our initial volley on the creature failed to bring it down, but succeeded horrendously in enraging it. And Mr. Chatsworth, as I said, was a bit portly and not so light on his feet. It was a horrible thing when he fell and tripped over my pack, I suppose it was, in an unfortunate spot. I couldn't turn to help him, as mad as that raging elephant was, but I scrambled and hid and watched as the beast took out its rage on him. I'll never forget the sound he made as that great ivory pierced his abdomen, like wet air escaping a balloon. Tearing of wet flesh and squelching of viscera soon followed. He was trampled and gored quite brutally, and all I could do was watch from a distance till the creature had its fill of violence. Even from my hiding spot, it met my eye for a long time as it stood trumpeting its triumph over him before it wandered off and left naught but a bloody trail through the tall grass and the mangled body of Mr. Chatsworth. Poor Mr. Chatsworth. The worst thing was that he wasn't quite dead yet. I had to put him out of his misery myself. Shot to the head. I don't think he could have been saved.
What a kind thing of you to do there, Dame. And, I'd appreciate it if you and Miss Bathory would do the same relatively soon to me.
Yes. I got my vengeance on the poor beast eventually. There's some nice ivory daggers in my study somewhere.
Oh, so you did take the bee. So, yeah, look, you and Ms. Bathory have quite a bit in common, taking out terrible beasts.
Yes. Have I quite cheered up the mood?
I think so.
Oh, yes. I'm
good
full of joy.
It's good to know I'm in good hands and in good company. Now,
I must say, that was a thrilling story.
Thank you, Potiphar. I thought you might quite enjoy it. I've never been to Egypt myself, but like I said, the Africa savannah. Are the pyramids as magnificent as they say and as you see in the pictures?
Infinitely more so.
that's wonderful. I wish I could have visited Egypt, but you know what, Count? Maybe with the whole afterlife thing, I might see you on the other side.
I have no doubt of it. We Egyptians lived and breathed death every day. We built to survive. And as you can see, it worked.
You're a stunning image from the past there, Count. Quite beautiful, just like the
I know.
pyramids. I finished that like last bite of steak, sit back, give it a little one of these. I'm like, whew, well, we've had the first F, on to the second. I will, I'll see you all here. And well, I'm not going to be that long. I'm not the Count. I'm not used to all day escapades. So here in a couple hours.
And with that,
As we stand
Oh.
up to part, before we all part our separate ways, I feel like Ross is probably shaking our hands, maybe.
Yeah, I'm just giving you
As
guys
this
like a
is
handshake or a hug, depending on how you all are.
when you go to shake Vila's hand, she grips it, and at the last second, she yanks you forward into a full hug.
I give you a hug back and I go, thank you for being a good friend, Viola. I trust you. Make it easy on me.
I'm sorry I couldn't do more.
No, no, no. You did everything. This is something far from home for you. This is something from America. I wouldn't expect you to know how to deal with it. That's why I'm the calamity. Nothing knows how to deal with me.
If there is another side, Ross Fletcher, I will see you there one day. And then
Well,
Viola will pull down her hood so you cannot see her tears and walk out.
Let's talk about conditions. Viola, did you clear any of them? You're muted.
I was kind of trying to do something about my infection
That
during
makes sense.
that.
You can go ahead and also you can already clear the blackmail ring because that's fucking inert now. So yeah. All right, you clear bitten by Ross. Count Potiphar, were you looking to? Oh, actually, you can't clear either of your conditions, I think, because they're both permanent. Although I will remind you, you can clear those with Taketh Away if you ever decide to, because Taketh Away can clear any condition in the game, including Most Beloved and permanent conditions like Drawn to the Void. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. You can decide to kill someone or destroy someone and clear a condition. And Dame Chantrell, you cannot. This is a Pyrrhic victory, but Ross, what do you clear?
Oh, I think after all this, I would get rid of Noxious.
Makes sense.
Having a good meal, sitting with some friends, but that Drawn to the Void, it cannot go away. And boy, oh boy, am I drawn to it.
Indeed. After this last meal, Potiphar, you are assured in the knowledge that you've given Ross a wonderful afternoon, but you yourself are back at Hargrave House. And do we find you in the cell room, or are we conversing with Lady Antonia? Where is this scene being taking place?
I think first Potiphar would seek out his employer to ask about the lycanthropy cell.
You have a hell of a time finding her, but eventually she is simply out in the back garden, seated at a little wrought iron table, taking a cuppa and just listening to the sounds that waft in over the hedge walls. And she looks over at you, Lady Antonia, prim and proper as always, says, "Ah, Count Potiphar, is there something you need?"
There is. I'm sure you've noticed the havoc that Ross has wrought in Hargrave House recently. It seems that his curse has finally gotten the better of him.
Yes, quite. Under normal circumstances, I would be most put out by the chaos and mayhem that has befallen the household. But it is, well, a drop in the bucket, as it were. The house has endured. The house will endure. My condolences for what it is worth. I know that immortality does not negate the capability to feel the weight of sorrow.
Indeed, it doesn't. But death is a kind of immortality in its own way. We just don't realize it because there is no pulse. Be that as it may, we've tried everything to resolve the issue, and it seems there's only one option left. We must put an end to Ross's suffering. And I wanted to ask you about the cell where we last met. You recall the one that was lined with silver, I believe?
Yes, the one that I trapped you in when we first met.
I thought you'd remember.
Yes, it is, of course, useful to certain applications. Though I don't think you'll find it is going to help in the matter of Mr. Fletcher. It might hold him for a time, but that is all that chamber is, a place with which to hold. Those effects would not bear any noticeable difference on his nature. I ensure that room was to hold, not to kill.
We don't need it to kill, but we do need it to hold. Tell me, how long do you suppose it can work?
Oh, it entirely depends on the nature of the curse, I suppose. It should be a sufficient place with which to conduct your work relatively cautious, though you will, of course, be locked in a room with a rampaging monster. It will not be unable to leave, but, well, there are risks to each reward.
I myself am not particularly put out at the thought of being locked in there with him. I can recover, as it were. But if it can buy us enough time, and provided that none of us hesitate to do what must be done, it may serve our purpose well. Can you assist us in this?
Lady Antonia is a very busy woman, but you can certainly try to persuade her. Go ahead and give us the information move with your presence. I don't think you'll have disadvantage here. So, yeah, roll flat.
That is a 9, 10, 11, 12.
That gets our first mastermind clue for flag because we have none. We have no mastermind clues for flag.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't even realize.
Yeah, it's been 0 so far. Oh, and also before I forget, you all should. I'm going to revisit that vulnerable scene. Had a clue for the curse, so we'll discuss that. I think towards the end, like when we get into as we wrap up, we'll revisit that and have a discussion about what that clue may have been. That's a 12. So you get a clue and a mastermind clue. Well, I'll give you the clue first. She looks at you and she just nods very casually. Yeah, but of course, it would be rude of me to not at least send him away, as it were. I brought him into the fold. It is fitting that I should be there for his termination of residence and employment. I have been around for quite a long time, Count Potiphar, and I'm willing to bet that I've been around longer than you have. After all, your awakening was relatively recent, was it not?
Indeed, it was.
You missed some things, and I have not. I've learned a lot in my years, and though my interests are particularly centered around objects of power, which, might I add, by the way, commendable work resolving that matter with the St. Petersburg mirror, I have spoken with Miss Tanner, and I think that she has quite a chip on her shoulder, though will be an asset to this household. I digress. I have spent many years studying lycanthropes, the transformations and the curses that bind them. And there are all manner of stories, a myriad, truly. But you know what I find curious in all my travels? That there are communities of lycanthropes all over the world, in other countries. I've even visited a few myself. And you know what all these communities share, Count Potiphar?
Do tell.
Every single one of them was built atop a silver mine. Isn't that curious? Each and every one built atop a silver mine.
That is food for thought indeed.
And that is your clue. But yes, I'm afraid I have appointments to keep, and I think you should sit with your present task a little longer. Longevity can be a burden as well as a boon. Do not forget to weigh things with time. Do not be so expeditious. Good day. I will see you when we are to complete the task.
Good day.
And as she's heading out, I'm going to give you a mastermind clue. She leaves you in the garden, and there is quiet, but then you hear a sea shanty being sung a few doors down at Flag's residence. It is muffled by the interior of the household, but the many voices singing "Heave ho, stars below, Chimera finds the way, night falls and so we go, stargazing in the bay." And that is your first mastermind clue, that you overhear them singing a sea shanty from their house. Dame Chanterelle. We'll segue from that mastermind clue to your stroll with the mastermind. Flag keeps the appointment, even if it doesn't seem like he would have. And go ahead and frame the scene for us, the two of you walking around Cremorne Gardens. It should be very clear that it has no bearing on this man whatsoever. All this merriment around him, and he still looks dead-eyed and unpleasant at the world around him. Go ahead and give us the scene.
I think it is us walking along Cremorne Gardens, along the trails. There are people painting over in the area that people paint in, whose name I totally didn't forget. We pass by like the dance hall, and it's raucous and full of merriment. All the while, I think the dame is, when he gets there, she's surprised they came at all. She didn't really expect him to. But as they walk along, I think she chats. She says, she clamors on about various things. I think she's wearing a nice suit for this particular outing, this dark olive green buttoned up shirt under a cream colored vest that hugs her form tightly, and these brown sort of like dark khaki pants almost, and long leather boots underneath. She's carrying an umbrella that she uses to keep the sun off her face, as I think she talks about, I think, caught off guard that he's arrived at all, is kind of rambling on almost like uselessly about like the proceedings of Cremorne Garden and how profitable they've been, even if they're not.
Yes. Hold on. I need to remind myself how to fucking do Flag's voice because it's been a minute. Hold on. Something like, yes, there we are. Yes. Merriment and profit. The concerns of the modern age. Tell me, is this frivolity truly so worthwhile? It seems to me as if this is merely a place for the people of London to forget the darkness of the world around them, to forget the filth, the squalor, the blood that stains their very carpets. They trudge and they swim in a mire of our own making. And yet they come here for merriment.
Quick meta rules question. Is
Yeah, what's
this the
up?
question he is asking
No,
me?
no, 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 no. This is simply conversational.
Okay, okay. Um, the dame kind of jabs him in the arm, and she's like, "Oh, well, aren't you a bright-spirited one?" To be completely honest with you, Vice Admiral, no, I didn't want this place at all. I simply bought it to keep it out of Theodora's hands.
And you spend your money on this place. How
Yes.
very quaint.
Oh, yes, I agree. It's very quaint, but despite it all, I find it's endeared me just a little bit. There are beautiful things being done here. I quite like the art. I rather think some of them might be quite successful in the future. One of them used my companion Ross Fletcher as a bit of a model once, and quite the exquisite artwork.
I think we'll find the two of you seated together at the banquet hall. You're drinking gin, and he is sitting there just looking around, uninterested. He
You
says,
sampled the rum I've sent.
"Yes, I received your bottle. I would like to thank you for the gift. I did indeed try a sample of it. Nice try."
Well, I have to win you over somehow. My darling Flag. I don't usually care for men, but you're a bit of an exception.
Indeed, your company is often quite exceptional, and yet you're devoting your time with me. I am no errand fool, Dame Campbell Carter. I understand that in society's eye, I am viewed as an unpleasant sort to associate with. Despite previous accolades of my past, folks are all too willing to condemn me now. And yet you are here, and yet I came. We must be a very curious sort, you and I.
Most curious indeed. I couldn't agree more, Vice Admiral. I mean, you took the words out of my mouth.
And
What
he's just kind of staring through you.
I've been rather, perhaps this is an odd sort of question, Vice Admiral. Mr. Flag, what do you prefer?
If you must call me anything, you may call me Admiral Flag, but I have a feeling you're going to call me Thaddeus.
Oh, yes, Thaddy. Um,
Mm.
Indeed. I feel like I've seen an acquaintance of mine, an old friend in the city, somewhat recently. It's been the curious thing. I have not seen this friend in a great many years. It is
Indeed.
perhaps just an inkling, just a curiosity of mine. Have you met a man by the name of Kaimani?
And for the first time, Flag does not look through you. He meets your eyes dead on. There's not surprise. There is nothing in his expression, no change, but you can tell that he is looking at you. And he just cocks his head to the side a little bit. Yes, indeed I have.
I would love to cut away to my mask.
We'll come back to the scene and you can do your mask when we come back. I'm so excited. Vila, you said you were going to be spending the rest of your day looking into ways to kill Ross. What does that entail? Where are you investigating?
I have an idea, and you
Okay.
can do with it what you wish. You can say no, but I wouldn't consider Viola a particularly bookish type, but I think she does have a small sort of personal library, a trunk in which she keeps handwritten Bathory journals from her family. and I would like to flip through ones that have anything concerning. They're written in Hungarian, so anything concerning Bukudak, which would be a werewolf or some sort of similar werebeast.
Sure, absolutely. Let's do this as the information move with your reason. A quick question before you roll. Do you think your condition of the promise would hinder this? Because you are looking for it, but what a thought that comes to me, and I'm deferring to you because I'm interested to see if you think this lines up with the narrative, that because of this condition, you might overlook things that are either too cruel or too, like there's that sense of like you want to do something that is fitting for Ross, but it might impair your judgment to get results. Do you agree with that or no?
I almost think the promise weighs so heavily on her that she's not going to overlook.
Okay, then
anything.
no disadvantage. No disadvantage. Yeah, you can roll flat unless you're marking something for advantage.
Do I have anything? I don't even know what
You
would
have
happen.
your hand crossbow, silver pocket watch, and the Pirate Queen's blade. And yeah, so nothing that seems like it will
Yeah,
help
just
here.
a flat roll.
Yeah, flat roll.
Which dice do I want? Draw them out of the bag. My reason is my reason is 0 or is it the -1?
It's 0.
Oh, okay. Still an 11.
Hey, very good. You will find a clue. Let's take a look here. I have to ask, actually, is this, you said you have a small personal library. So is this a personal library you've brought to Hargrave House, or are you visiting like another like holding of the Bathory family to go through this?
I had considered just a small trunk in my room.
Okay.
But if you want to do a secondary location, I'm into it.
I'm entirely deferring to you.
Okay, no, let's do second location. I feel
Sure.
like it's not, I don't feel like it's maybe even a whole residence.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in the public library, there's like a secret,
Oh, that's sexy.
right? You know, like a secret Bathory Hunters only section.
I just realized I've been underutilizing my list of locations from when we did the Shrouded London writing contest. I want to see if there's a good like paint the scene question for a library in here. Just for funsies, you know. Let's see. Is there a books one? Library. Let's see what we got. Well, while I'm waiting for that, let's see. Sorry,
I didn't mean to throw you off.
No, you're good. I'm truly just like locked in on this, right?
Love a good library.
This is the unseen library of the Bathory clan. It is a largely unnoticed back part to this university library. The librarian, a man by the name of Mr. Forrester, is the only other person present. Somehow, never any trace of mice or vermin, impeccably clean. Let's paint the scene, everyone. I don't like this paint the scene question, so I'm going to change it. How can you tell there is an order to the apparent chaos of these stacks of books and tomes and scrolls the Bathory clan have all but thrown in here over the years.
I think they're in weirdly a way structured a lot by like how they're written. There's a section of just books, there's a section of just scrolls, and a section of just journals, like smaller, non like published kind of things.
I will say, oh, you can go ahead if you want.
No, you can go.
Okay. Yeah, it's separated by like the type of publication or not publication that it is. And it looks like chaos to anybody else, but an experienced monster hunter knows they are divided by which monster they're written about.
So funny. That's the exact same thing I was gonna say.
That's why
But
I was
I was
trying to
gonna
get it in.
I was gonna say there were symbols underneath that like looked like the specific monster. Which I guess is not quite the same, but a riff off. And I'll go ahead to say further within a section, they do seem to be ordered. You can tell by like the quality of the scrolls, like they do seem to be ordered oldest to newest. You can tell because some books and stuff look ancient and others look relatively fresh.
I imagine there's also a section that's just stacks of periodicals and news clippings that detail certain events that were associated with Bathory huntings, just peculiar phenomena around London and other parts of England that the public doesn't have the answers to, but the Bathory clan does.
Was that everyone? Cool. Just make sure. Your clue will be an account from one of your ancestors, a family member who writes of an incident at Bethlehem Royal Hospital that they investigated. The patients had torn each other apart like wild animals. That is the clue. And for funsies, what is the name of this ancestor?
Ivana.
How do you spell that?
Ivana.
Okay, Ivana Bathory. Very good.
Lady Ivana Bathory.
Lady, of course, Lady Ivana Bathory. Well,
it's old.
Mm-hmm. And you are flipping through these pages, this account of your family. What's going through your mind right now, in addition to the work?
She is very focused on what the night will bring and what she will have to do to Ross. But I think, as you said earlier, it's calling her back to the greater duty that comes with her family name. And she is considering the beast. And here, surrounded by her family's compiled knowledge, being the last one left, she is very struck by the fact that she will have to face it soon. And it is a sobering thought.
Now, in addition to your own research here, you can never escape the burden your family have put on you. Going through these books and these accounts, what sign of the beast's presence throughout your family's history do you notice more than once?
there's a recurring through the generations, a vampire repeatedly pops up with that seems to have the same exact description over and over and over again.
If you're all right with it, I think when I come back to you here in a moment, I would like you to do your Darkened Threshold narration that you owe us. I think it's very fitting for the story right now where you're going through something and you end up killing an innocent person for the sake of the hunt. So if you're cool with that, when I circle back to you, I would love for you to narrate that of something she does. Does that work?
Yeah, this is like a current thing.
Yep, it's in the present day.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Ross, you have a fucking awesome time.
Hell yeah.
You have a fucking awesome time. There's like so many beautiful people. They have fucking fucking canopy, what's the fucking canapé? How do you pronounce it? Whatever. Like in terms of like an hors d'oeuvre or whatever. Anyway, it's great. Um, and
Canapes.
Ladies, gentlemen, please. I know you haven't had a bit of this kind of American piece of meat yet, but damn.
incredible.
Potiphar lives like this every day.
And when you're done, and when you've probably gone again, do you return to Hargrave House afterwards, or where do you go?
I think afterwards I do. The day is only so long, and I know what comes at night. I think I'm gonna go. I think Ross has realized he's had his fun, and he's gonna. I think on the way, think of things that the native tribe back in America told him about this curse, and like how if it goes too far, how it can be like quelled, or to like if there's like a letting yourself go into the beast kind of a thing.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just fixing something real quick. All right. I think as you're out and about, maybe with your own mind of your own, you're actually going to be interrupted because you're going to cross paths with a familiar face as you're out and about. And you hear his voice first. He goes, well, hello there, stranger. And you can see James Whistler, who is you've kind of like found yourself like wandering down by like probably like Chain Walk. And he's like got his like easel and like canvas tucked under one arm, satchel of the rest of his paint supplies in the other. And he says, well, aren't you a sight for sore eyes?
James, it's been a minute.
It's certainly been a few weeks. How have you been?
I've been better, but how are you enjoying England?
I'm loving it. It's truly
Thank you.
beautiful. Although I tell you the truth, starting to get a little tired of the landscapes down at least towards Cremorne. I'm trying to find new inspiration.
There's some beautiful places out by the old Braithwaite Manor.
Huh.
I've also heard that there's some quite lovely places out east, like not here in England. Sorry, it's just a little bit
No.
lost.
No worries at all. I'm glad I ran into you. I'm thinking actually about maybe returning to America for a bit. I was wondering if you would like to write to me.
I'd love that, James.
Oh, I can at least he pulls out like a scrap of paper and like writes down, says, this is an address of some friends. You can write there. And if I'm ever dropped in, if you're ever over there yourself, you're welcome to visit.
Yeah, I was actually thinking when are you heading back?
Oh, I think I'll take another few weeks to soak in this the rest
You,
of summer before we
you
move out.
yeah, you do that, James. It'll be lovely.
He
It's
flashes you
great.
his rakish smile.
I hate to tell you, I'm gonna beat you to it. I'm going back tomorrow, actually.
Indeed. Well, bon voyage, as the French say.
Yeah. I'll try to write you, but I'll just have you know my family's kind of calling me back home, so things are about to get a little hectic, a little busy, and
Oh, is everything all right?
yeah, things will be fine here by tomorrow. Once I'm on that ship heading back, and once I can talk things out. But hopefully everything goes good, and I'll see you. I'll write you. Okay.
Well, I'll look forward to your letter.
Yeah, James. I'll actually, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get something written right now. If you don't mind, I've got to head back to Hargrave.
No worries. And he turns to like walk away, but then he like stops and like double take and goes, "Hey, before I forget." He runs over and like rifles around his bag and says, "I'd actually done a second pass at that. I didn't get the painting done, but I did a few other sketches."
Oh, you do draw me quite strikingly.
Well, I drew you, well, quite intimately, but I felt like there was a truth to you that I hadn't captured. I didn't
I I think I
have.
just interrupt him. I think I just grab him from the back of the head and I give him a deep kiss.
Mhm. He seems a little surprised, but as you pull back, he gives it like a short laugh and says, "Damn, if only every person I painted treated me that way." Well,
Hopefully, I'll see you in America.
and he hands you a little like sketch pad. And he says, "Token to remember me by. Till next we see each other."
So next time.
And when you flip open the sketchbook, there are a few simple things, but one page in particular is a rather detailed pencil sketch with very nice shading. It perfectly captures an aspect about yourself. Describe James' sketch of you that moves you so.
I think it's me leaned back in a chair, my shirt's off. I'm relaxed. There's a slight smile to my face. Half of my face is cast in shadow from the light. He matched it perfectly. And I think there's this kindness, this warmth, but Ross in this part of the drawing is far on the left side of the paper. And then there's a long shadow that extends to the other side.
And you move on. In at Cremorne Gardens, Dame Chanterelle, would you mind narrating your ask?
Yeah, sure. I'll follow that up. Um, my mask from the perspective of the boy. Narrate a flashback showing your arrival in London. From the Journal of Kaimani B. I don't know how long my boat drifted in the sea. It might have been days, weeks, even months. I was so parched that my throat bled, so hungry that my stomach was cavernous, vacuous, even. I was only saved by the unfortunate goal that I managed to catch, and by a stroke of luck. I was found by a boat, a sailing vessel, Canadian, as I came to learn. The captain took me aboard, and his men nursed me to health. It was a strange time sailing with them, so foreign and unknown. The captain said there was an empty look to my eyes. It reminded him of some men that he rescued some time ago, many years. And as I was saved by a second stroke of luck, the first, the lightning to free me from my bonds, the second to find a boat to sail out, and this, the third, An idea wormed its way into my head. There must be a reason I was still alive, some greater purpose that the gods needed me to serve. And there was only one possible reason. I must atone for my sins, undo some of my wrongs. I must kill the Dame Chanterelle Campbell Carter. When I arrived in London, I was better, though still emaciated and weak. I was met by a curious man, a man so ancient that I thought it was strange he was alive at all. He came in a carriage bedecked by blue and sapphire, a sapphire that sparked distant memories. He introduced himself as Elmore and said to me, "Welcome to London, Master Kaimani. Your Aunt Theodora has been awaiting your arrival with bated breath."
And you sit across from Flag as he says, "Of course I know, Mr. Kaimani. I'm quite familiar with the young man. Shows true potential, that one."
I've always thought the same. There's a lot of potential in that man.
And a lot of resentment.
Plenty, I'm sure.
Very directed your way.
Who else would it be directed at? The Dame is. The positions have almost switched. A Flag is looking at her finally with a full glance, but the Dame is now staring off into the banquet hall. Her eyes don't stare at anything in particular, they stare past everything into memory and thought. She goes, "Yes, it's. I think he should hate me." Admiral Flag, do you think a person is ever truly gone? Is there a point past one's sins are so great that they cannot redeem themselves? They cannot become a new person? Do you think we are all trapped by the mistakes of our past?
We are built, all of us, around the matter of our past, present, and future selves. When you have a cancer of the flesh, you excise it. Some say you can do the same for your sins, your mistakes and your regrets carved and burnt away to let the flesh heal. Sometimes the best triage one can do is to remove. I've amputated my fair share of legs and limbs. The sins of the past, though, they remain with you as a part of your very foundation. And if you should be so steeped and suffused by such, well, you yourself are the cancer and must be excised.
Your earlier statement still stands. I find you a very curious man, Flag. I wish I could disagree with you. I wish that I could say that I was not a cancer upon London or upon Queen Victoria's side, but I think perhaps I am sometimes.
And do you believe yourself in all earnesty to be worthy of the Queen's service?
I did once, I think, when I was younger and full of vim and vigor, when I thought myself atop everything and beneath nothing. But I don't think I find that to be true anymore. Thaddy, I think I am unworthy to be in her service. But I shall still endeavor to please my queen. She raises her glass in a toast.
He toasts you back. Then allow me to impart some wisdom. A A bit of advice from one fellow loyal to the crown to another. Stay out of my way. The queen will be best served without you trying to meddle in what must be done if you have any desire to think for atonement, forgiveness. It is not my place to judge or impart a weighing on your fated scales. But if you truly believe yourself to be a devoted servant of this empire, do not interfere. Have I made myself clear, sailor?
Yes, Captain.
And he gets up and leaves. What condition were you clearing from that scene?
Technically, I hate a rules lawyer. I don't think I clear any because I already took a vulnerable move this session.
Oh,
I can't take a second.
Here's the thing. Let me double check something real quick. That is not the vulnerable move, is the thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, cool. Because you do not get the clues from it. You just have a scene with the mastermind. You get the clear conditions doing that. It's not the vulnerable move.
I was kind of gearing for Watched by the Boy, but I don't think I really cleared it. I do think she was pretty melancholic here. I think I probably clear Vindictive Cunt.
That's fair. Totally. All right. And with all this said, I think we must wind the day phase to its close. The final day of Ross Fletcher. Viola, would you care to narrate your Yarkin threshold prompt as we go into the dusk?
Before I start it, earlier you said there was a man at the front desk.
Yes, Mr. Forrester, who mans the unseen library.
Okay. Right.
Oh, okay. Poor Mr. Forrester. I see where this is going. Okay.
No, he's gonna be all right. Viola is in the unseen library, and the sun is beginning to set. She has, over the course of her time here, has shrugged off her jacket, even placed one of her, like, her dagger to the side as she's flipping through pages of journals and journals and journals. And as she notices that the time, she slides a book back onto the shelf, preparing to leave. From behind her, she hears a voice say, "What is this place? Never noticed this part in the library before." And she turns around to see what appears to be a young college student who has wandered into this area of the unseen library. As he stops looking up, he looks down and notices her. "Who are you? What is this place?" And then he notices the newspaper clippings on the back wall with all of the crimes that have been committed around London and other places, and looks back at Viola. "And what is that? Who are you?" And as he begins to back up, she darts forward, yanks him into the room, and snaps his neck.
Increase your
She
hunt
lets
X.
the body fall
you're
to
still
the
going,
ground. Sorry. Before grabbing her coat, slinging it over her shoulders, picking up her dagger, walking out of the library and up to a sleeping Mr. Forrester. She kicks the back of his chair. "I solved the problem. You clean it up." And flips up her hood and goes home to fulfill her promise.
Increase your hunt X count by 1. And the dusk phase. Dame Shant. Oh, first of all, before we go further, Will this be a Hargrave House night phase or a London night phase?
I
vote.
could invoke the REC. I think I just want this to be a night phase.
Just a
Send
regular
off for Ross Fletcher.
a London night phase, sure.
Mhm.
Um,
However,
we need to collectively define a clue from that daytime vulnerable scene for the curse. Then you have 3 clues left on the curse, so this will be the 4th, which would put you flat. If you're attempting to answer this tonight, we can still talk about that. But first of all, so during that group vulnerable scene, the lovely dinner, the conversation, what clue came out of that? If anyone has ideas, please say them out loud.
Back in America, I think that I would have recalled that the tribe told me that if I lost myself to the beast, to ingest cottonmouth poison and silver, and the beast would be quelled, but I would be quelled as well.
That's bordering very dangerously close to answering the question by itself. But I will say I like the idea, the vague
Just like
idea
not
of,
to kill me, but to
yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's just
Okay,
like
gotcha.
ingesting it will like weaken it
Mm.
and myself as well, though, because like coming out of it, if I were still had my human form, I would be deeply poisoned.
Do
It's
we
like,
have any additional thoughts on that from anyone else, or are we all in agreement with that one? Tamara, you're muted.
you're muted.
Still muted.
Tamara, you're muted.
Sorry.
I'm gonna have I'm gonna come to the next session with a T-shirt that says "Tamara, you're muted."
Yeah. Sorry. I was gonna say if you're worried about it being like too close to like solving it specifically, you could say like legends of cottonmouth poisoning or cottonmouth
I
poison.
like the idea of like the tribe like telling it in the form of a legend as opposed to like
Yeah.
hard evidence. Yeah.
Like a legend of it just affecting shapeshifters in some way.
Legend of snake venom.
Mm-hmm.
Snake venom and silver. Because I really like that, like whole like they're all under silver mines. Because I don't know, I really love that.
All right, and cool. Then add that to the clue list. Do we want to answer that question tonight, or are we going to get more clues for it?
Just real quick.
Yep.
I'm not invoking Gareth Kellogg, but I will invoke the REC and Rear Admiral.
I was going to
Alfred
ask that.
Bingley.
Yeah, you're going to invoke the. I think is this our first time using the armory?
Second time.
Second time. That's right. Okay. Cool.
I still have my stick launcher.
Yes. Oh, that's right. Yes, you do. That's right. So everyone can add an item from the armory to their personal quarters. This list is examples. You can come up with your own. Remember that when it is marked, it is cleared from your list. Even if you still previously have your armory item, you can still pick from the armory. You'll call in that favor from the Rear Admiral. Well, with that said, are we answering this question?
I think so.
We have 4 clues. It is complexity 4. What is the creature's weakness? Who has a theory? It should be pretty easy, but I'm still, I kind of want to hear someone string it together.
I think not only does the beast have to be poisoned, which is what all these different kind of things lead to, but like you have to also like stab the beast through the heart and kind of kill it. I think that if sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna agree with you. Sorry, that's all. That was mainly what I was saying. I was like, I think there's some sort of like all these poisons are good, but something has to go through the heart.
I think it's also
silver, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's also like the.
I have something.
Yeah.
I think from the account of Lady Ivana Bathory, the patients that tore each other apart, I think you need a touch of the curse to be able to kill a cursed. And who was recently infected?
I was. I did clear it, but do you think that still counts?
Sure. I'm into it. I mean, also like what he could willingly fucking bite you, or spread the curse in some way. So yeah, I like that. That's fucking That's great. Only,
I just
only
unclear that shit. I don't give a fuck. I got rid of the other one anyway.
yeah. Only one
So
touched
that's
by the
really good.
curse can destroy. Yeah, that's fucking dark. I love it.
I fuck with
Okay.
that.
So we're saying that obviously, so the communities and like the silver mines, we're saying, yeah, silver is part of this. So it's like
Mhm.
using they probably
Proximity to silver keeps a transformation from happening, but if a transformation has already happened, then wolfsbane, snake poison, and silver through the heart are an effective way to put an end to it.
well, the thing with the wolfsbane and elephant tranquilizer, I mentioned that Ross's body was regenerating rapidly. So it's like that was like human form was maintaining. So like, is that established as like it's gonna like force like this
I'm gonna be
poison cocktail is gonna be like preventing the creature from like
fully coming
maintaining
out.
full strength, fully coming
Yeah.
out, and then you'll be able to fucking deal with him.
Yeah, because it
That's
sounds like
good.
that combined with our lycanthropic prison cell, it's all to buy us time to.
Right.
Yeah, I was thinking of going in there, honestly, of like just like submitting myself to it and be like, do what you got to do. Like,
Cage match.
yeah,
Cage match. Exactly. Um, and then yeah, okay. Makes sense to me. Any other thoughts on this from anyone? Malachi, any thoughts?
I think we pretty much covered all the clues.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be the most fitting if Kyle was the one who rolled this.
Hmm.
Because if it's wrong, it means, well, you're probably going to have to deal with a monstrous Ross and another night will pass without answers.
all
And
right,
you'll need to
Shell.
get more clues.
There's nothing. Oh yeah, there's nothing you mark or anything like
Nope.
that. It's just like, ugh. Do I take the floor dice or do I re-roll it?
You re-roll floor dice. No Jumanji rules.
No Jumanji rules. It's even better. I love that. It's an 8.
Okay. Which is very fitting. The answer is correct, but pursuing it will be much more dangerous. Or there might be an unwelcome complication. I get to stew on this because we're about to end anyway, and we're gonna pick up with this next time. I
We're gonna
know.
get Ross in the cage.
I know. Every bone in my body is screaming about wanting to live in the world where we just keep playing and get to do another second night phase. But I'm like, no, I can't keep us that late.
I
So
would
that
do it.
I would too, but alas, I cannot. Sorry that you have to live in Ross limbo for another week, Kyle.
It's okay. I'll be dying real fast, and then
You're literally going to be starting the session with your death. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Like,
started this session with me potentially dying
Yep.
and starting next session.
The suspense is terrible. I hope it'll last.
Alas, it does.
Indeed. Let me make a note of this. All right.
To introduce my next character, that'll be fun.
So you can, in this upcoming night, resolve the threat by destroying the creature.
It's nice knowing you, Ross.
And next time, we will introduce the night. It will probably be very punchy and emotional, and it will be the send off of the American after all this time. So let's go ahead and just review and mark any dust questions or dawn questions that may have been answered today. That so we don't forget about getting XP tomorrow. Everyone's going to go ahead and mark that you guys answered a question. And Dame Chanterelle, did you have a chilling did I monologue?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I would say damn right. Yeah, I did.
Not that it matters. I'm
No.
stacked up.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I'm still asking you because I fucking want to. And because I forgot. Eric is or Malachi is already full up. And all right, Viola's the last one. Viola, did you tell someone why their plans were poorly made?
No, not yet.
Did you loudly curse your family's name?
Also, no.
Okay.
None today.
None today. With that, if we can bear it, let's go to Stars and Wishes.
Okay, I'll get that ball rolling. Stars. Tamara's hood. Great way to start the session.
Malachi, I'm so sorry to interrupt you. It is Tamara.
Tamara.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Tamara. Okay, probably gonna forget that, but I'll try not to. Okay, next. Viola's grief over Ross just pervaded this entire session, everything she was doing, and it was great. Uh, Kyle, You're Unseen was really good. Then there was our meal at the Coq d'Or. Such a great time. All of us in the same place, just rebounding off each other. And Chanterelle's elephant story at the table. Did you make that up on the spot?
That was the very first monologue I wrote for the Dame.
Awesome. I love it. And it tied in so well with how you had to put a creature out of its misery. And that's what we're about to do. Same with Viola having to put down the horse. Love the foreshadowing. Um, Admiral Flag is just awesome. I loved every second that he was there. And talking to Dame Chanterelle and how she called him fatty, that was another star right there. The Bathory Library. I liked how we got ourselves a new location there. That was a really good idea. Then you brought Kamani in there. So he's now working for Admiral Flag, is that right? Ghost from the past coming back to serve
Oh,
this guy.
we saw that like a while ago. If
Really?
yeah, I after at the end of the Theodore episode, the stinger, I narrated how Kaimani, you didn't know what time it was Flag, but Kaimani was in Flag's office telling him that Theodora was killed. So
Oh God. Well, I missed that, so it hit me like a ton of bricks. All the fanfic tags that popped up in the chat this time around, that was hilarious. Then Viola's snap kill in the library, just out of nowhere. Loved that. Oh, and James Whistler and the sketch pad. God damn it. Why? So, yeah, everyone was at the top of their game this time. And just a whole lot of build up to what we know is coming. And now we get to wait a whole nother week. And yeah, it's going to be great. So, wishes. Um, I wish to finally get this over with and put down this cursed beast. We've been blue balled long enough. Um, yeah, honestly, that's my main wish, just to see this whole thing really resolved. Beyond that, just keep on doing this. More threats, more crazy stuff. Also, I am really looking forward to using my new custom move. That's going to be fun. Honestly, if crazy intrusive thought, if Potiphar can get his hands on Ross's corpse, that would be a seriously twisted way to use it and just have another attendant at the townhouse. But yeah, so that's me.
Yeah, definitely that would be that'd be scary and I'd love it. And it won't matter here soon because I'll be playing a new character. But yeah, stars for me. I really loved what honestly the interaction that Malachi and Alec or that Count Potiphar had with Lady Hargrave Steel. I loved that interaction. I am excited to see, and also think that was just such a nice thing that the Count did for Ross. It was just like, no, no, you're gonna live like me for a day. It's just like truly one of the nicest things the Count could do for someone. And so that really like hit. I don't know. I felt like I was in the feels this whole session just because it's like, look at everyone be nice to the character that got a kill. Uh, it was wonderful. Yes, Tamara with Viola, all the I don't know, it was just like great emotionally, like all the sadness and like the regret of like not being able to save me. Uh, it was wonderfully role played. I'm gonna leave a lot for other people because I know other people have other stuff to say. Alex, again, I love Flag. His voice is so good. I mean, and also just like what we were able to do at the very start of this session with solving the St. Petersburg mirror, uh having that whole scene go through with Taggart and like leaving to come in, and I don't know, I just that all that was great. And the Dame, yes, of course. The elephant story was wonderful. I do love the fact that you were surprised at Flag. He's out here with me. Having another interaction with him, I really love to see those, and I also feel like, uh, it's just you're one of our main inputs to Flag, and you already have such a backstory with him, so it's really fun to see those interactions. Wishes, I'm ready to break out my new character. Wish, I want to see how everyone moves on from Ross as continued threats continue to happen. We do have a threat that's on it's kind of been building up, Figs Pigs. A new one will be coming in, and we also have Flag. We only have one mastermind clue for him, so we gotta start. Stuff will have to come in with him. So that's another wish, is to see more stuff with Flag and this new mastermind. But yeah, that's all from me.
I can go. Eric, a star for the Dames fits. Always incredible. Love them every time. Elephant monologue. So I low-key did get to read that one a really long time ago, but I kind of thought I missed it. I thought it had already happened, and so that was such a delightful surprise. It was so cool to actually see, and it was so well placed. Um, the whole this is kind of a star for Alex and Eric. The whole Flag Dame scene was beautiful. Cancer on the Queen's side really got me. That was so good. Alex, you should be afraid of me in the beginning with I know we undid it with the mask, but that was so fucking good. I think you're gonna call me Thaddeus. Excuse me. Would you like to write to me? Broke my heart. Also, there's no way you could have known this, but the damage you did to my poor horse girl heart, brutal. Malachi, a star for the move. So good. Even like I was like, I know I wasn't off camera, but hearing that whole interaction was so funny. Great call on the lycanthrope cage. I don't really know where that was from earlier, but like incredibly clutch move. Also, it was so like nice to see you be like genuine and be like, here's the key to my house. Like we don't really see Potiphar just being really like selfless and nice a lot. So that was really cool.
He's changing.
Kyle, your unseen prompts in the first part were really well done. It's hard, I think, for one person to do all of them sometimes, but I thought you did a really great job. Dinner, just the whole scene was so devastating. Like you trying to keep up a good attitude, but like also being like, hope Violet can kill me soon. So good. And then in the interaction with the drawing man, I'm going back tomorrow. Just killed me. Wishes. I'm excited to see the drama of this absolutely devastating night scene tomorrow. I'm so excited for it. I agree. Wish to get more into the mastermind, and now that the curse is going to be out of play, I'm extra excited to bring the beast in. I feel like we're moving towards it, so that's all for me.
And yeah, star to Tamara, your mask was so good. I loved it, especially combining the two of them. I thought it was so good. I was a big fan. I thought it was great. Doing the little sign of the cross saying, may God and my friends forgive me. I loved. A secret library, also obsessed. And then on the way out after killing that college student, I solved the problem. You cleaned it up. Cold as fuck. So good. Um, yeah, Kyle, kudos for doing all the unseen. I agree it can be tough sometimes, but you crushed it. I love. Just describing it as the dog on its last day really set the tone for it all, I feel. Uh, the entire uh, interaction with James was devastating. Ross meeting one of the lost loves, a through line for his character. The way that if we had done the other, if we had rolled correctly on the reversible, he could have gone back to America with him. I wrote, Alex, you son of a bitch. Especially because I actually just brought it up right before that. And I don't know if I inspired it. And I hate that if I did. And yeah, this particular line in that whole interaction, it was all amazing. But Kyle, things will be fine tomorrow. You bitch. Stop it. Stars to Malachi. I loved getting Taggart out of the way, being like, oh no, she'll show you where Ross is. No worries. Also, yes, giving Ross the key to your townhouse, but also stepping between the dame and the Taggart with the gun. There were a couple little like friendly, emotional touches from the session, and I loved it. It's been said before, but Malachi, your paint scenes are always really good. I liked the like additions you had on those. Also a devastating star. It's been a wish for us for a long time to see another hunter visit the townhouse, and this was the time. And a star to all of us. The dinner scene was heartbreaking. And then Alex, horrible beast noises. Thank you very much. Terrible. I loved the description of the fight scene with Beast Ross throwing the horses, smashing carriages. Taggart, truly a horrible person, and I hate him. I'm glad he's dead. I like a Pyrrhic victory. A Pyrrhic's not one of those words you get very often, so I liked seeing it. Your Lady Hargrave's always amazing. I love seeing her and interacting with her, which is also a wish of mine. The Dame hasn't had a scene with Lady Hargrave, so I want to see that. And yeah, just all of the Ross and James. I hated it. It was so good. It was devastating. I got emotional. How dare you? Wishes. Yeah, seeing Kyle's new character will be really exciting. Seeing how different you play for the vessel. Seeing more of Flag, of course. Also a star to Alex. I always love bouncing off you with big scenes like that. And I feel like we really did we crushed the Flag Dame interaction. I felt like there was some juice there. Other wishes. Yeah, I think just to play more. I don't have that's all I can think of.
Yeah. Oh God. I'll close this out here. Man, that was such a like heavy and moving session. I did not want this to end. I did not want to have this session come to a stop. I want, in my ideal state, for us to play continuously without need for sleep or food or any other responsibilities. I'm going to give a real world star to our favorite husbands here. I clocked Eric getting up for a moment and giving Kyle a hug as things were getting a little heavy, and that was so very endearing. You two are so wonderful. I'm going to second a lot of what's already been said because I agree wholeheartedly. Yeah, I made the mess. You cleaned it up. Fucking ice cold, Vila. I loved the like hints. We got like an abundance of good like little like beast hints and a lot of like Bathory lore. I'm very excited about more like Bathory stuff in here. Because it's one of my like favorite things about the legacy is like, okay, well, what about the rest of the family? Where do they come into the mix? So getting to explore that was really cool and the spin on it. Obviously I could just put endless praise onto Kyle for the sheer like emotional gravitas you brought to the session today. Very emotionally compelling. Like I feel for Ross so badly. It's so tragic that yeah, me putting James in was a cheap shot, but you somehow turned it back on me and made it hurt. I was sitting there. I may have been subconsciously like influenced by the mention of it, but I was thinking separately, like, oh, if it's his last day walking around, I should have like some like familiar faces from the campaign show up. Who should? I'm like, oh, James hasn't been seen in a while. We need to have James show back up. And well, I regret that because it hurt.
You hurt me, I'm gonna hurt you.
Yeah, congratulations. The cycle of pain continues. Man, just the whole concept like dog on his last day, that fucking hit. I mean, as someone who has had like to put down a dog, with the same methodology of like you having a really good last day with a pet. Oh my God. And then applying that to Ross here in this moment, that fucking, it hit. It was so painful, but there was such beauty in it. I'm seconding everything that was said about Count Potiphar, about like he's growing and changing as a character. The key to my house, you can live like a god for one day. Man, that was so good. But then also, yeah, I just love getting to riff with you as Lady Antonia, because those scenes are really fun to do. And that scene in particular was, I didn't expect it to necessarily go to somewhere like emotional or philosophical, but it just kind of went there. And I just love seeing the two of you in the same room. Yeah, just so many great moments all around. I love this group and this story we're weaving together. My wishes, aside from having this close out, and I'm excited to meet the new hunter that Kyle will be playing, because I love the Vessel playbook, and I know immediately what the next threat is going to be. It is a threat I have wanted to use for this campaign for a while now, so I'm excited to be introducing it. Let's see, what other my other wishes. Oh, actual mechanical wishes. I would love to see y'all use some of our now comprehensive list of side characters more often. I'm surprised no one thought to consult the man in the sun mask about Ross and like Ross on other worlds, but hey, that's okay.
No, actually, it did occur to me at some point, but I chose to censor myself.
No, never do that. But all the same, going forward, I want to see this like wonderful cast of characters. God damn it, I want to see someone dream dive with the Greco rules. Obviously it hasn't been the opening for it, and that's fine. But I'm just like, punch my microphone. I'm feral about it. I'm absolutely feral about seeing more of these like fleshed out characters. What other wishes do I have? No, yeah, that's it. I think that's about it. I mean, honestly, I'm just my unattainable wish is I want to play endlessly. I want all of us to like be at a table together and just play for a week straight and not have anything else to do. Because the fact that we have to wait a week is a crime, and it's my fault for setting up this cliffhanger. I live in fear. I will step out of my apartment because I know Tamara lives within a mile radius of me, and I might just get assassinated on the spot if I leave my home. I can't go anywhere near the train.
Catch you on the subway.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on the fucking J, and you're gonna knife me. Yeah, for real. It's every day could be my last. But no, fucking awesome session, y'all. This was great. Yeah. Okay. Are there any other stars or wishes people want to throw out there before we sign off for the night?
A quick start. Sorry. Just a quick start. All of us buckling down and focusing on Ross instead of, we just said fuck Fix Pigs.
I was
not literally in
when you
Potiphar's
brought
case.
them up, I was like, Kyle said something about them, and I was like, oh my God, I literally forgot they existed. Like,
I did very early on in the session be like, do I have Fig's Pig Shop? No, this is the Ross session. Nope, I'm not fucking doing
not their moment.
What were you gonna say, Malachi?
Yeah, Malachi.
what was it? Oh yeah. Is there a tab on the thing here for the side characters and the things we can do with
I
them?
should do a tab on them in the character keeper because I've been posting them in the Discord, but it would be nice to add it to our character keeper. So I think I'll make a side character tab
That'd be great.
that we can track. Yeah,
That would
that'd
be a
great.
great way to just keep track of
Yeah,
all of how many we've got because I think I've forgotten some of them.
I know. You know what? That's a great idea. I'll if I can remember to do so over the next week, I'm going to add a tab.
Okay.
Great.
Okay.
All right.
session,
Well,
y'all.
great session. And I'll close out the recording.